The room was very quiet. Too quiet. Mara sat on the edge of the old couch and listened to the sound of her own breathing. Slow. Careful. Like if she breathed too hard, the whole world might fall apart. The heater had stopped working again. Cold air slid across the floor and crawled up her legs. She pulled her thin sweater tighter, even though it was already stretched and worn. The sleeves were too long. They once belonged to someone else. Everything in this house once belonged to someone else. On the small table, there was half a loaf of bread. Hard. Dry. Yesterday's bread. Mara stared at it for a long time. She counted in her head. 3 mouths. 1 loaf. She broke the bread carefully. Slow. Even pieces. She made sure none were bigger than the others. She did not take one for herself. From the bedroom came a soft cough. Mara's heart jumped. Then another cough. Smaller. Tired. She stood up right away. The bedroom was small. 2 beds pushed close together. A thin blanket covered both children. Their breaths came out in little white clouds in the cold air. The girl was already awake. Her name was Lena. Lena was small for her age. Too small. Her dark hair fell into her eyes, messy and thin. She watched her mother with quiet eyes that noticed everything. "Mama," Lena whispered. "You didn't sleep again." Mara smiled, but it was the kind of smile that didn't reach her eyes. "I slept," she lied softly. "Just not much." Lena pushed herself up on her elbows. She winced and pressed a hand to her chest. That scared Mara. "Does it hurt?" Mara asked quickly. Lena shook her head, but not right away. "Only when I breathe deep." Mara sat on the edge of the bed and brushed Lena's hair back with shaking fingers. Lena's skin felt warm. Too warm. Mara swallowed. The doctor's words from last week came back like a punch. She needs medicine. Soon. Her lungs are weak. If you wait, it will get worse. Mara didn't have the money. She never said that part out loud. In the other bed, Lena's little brother Eli rolled over and rubbed his eyes. "Is it morning?" he asked. "Yes," Mara said. "Time to eat." Eli smiled right away. He always smiled. Even when he was hungry. Even when his shoes had holes. Even when it was cold. That made it worse. Mara helped them sit up and handed each child a piece of bread. "Slow," she said gently. "Chew slow." Lena broke her piece in half and held it out. "You eat too, Mama." Mara shook her head. "I'm not hungry." Lena did not believe her. But she didn't argue. She just watched. Always watching. After breakfast, Mara wrapped Lena in her coat. It was too big for the girl, but it was the warmest thing they had. "We have to go out?" Eli asked. "Yes," Mara said. "Just for a little while." She did not say where. Outside, the city was loud and busy. Cars rushed by. People walked fast with warm coats and clean shoes. No one looked at Mara and the children for long. People rarely did. Mara held Lena's hand tightly. Lena's fingers were cold. They walked past shops with bright windows. Past cafes that smelled like warm bread and coffee. Eli stopped once and stared through the glass. "People are eating cake," he said. Mara gently pulled him along. They reached a tall building made of glass and stone. It looked expensive. Clean. Powerful. Mara stopped across the street. Her chest felt tight. Lena looked up at the building, then at her mother's face. "Mama, are you okay?" Mara nodded. "I just need to breathe." Across the street, a black car stopped. The door opened. A man stepped out. He was tall. He wore a dark coat that looked new and clean. His shoes shined. His hair was neat. He moved slowly, like he knew the world would wait for him. People noticed him. They always did. Mara did not want to look, but Lena did. The man laughed at something his assistant said. His voice was calm. Low. Strong. Lena stared. Her eyes followed him as he walked toward the building doors. Then she tugged on Mara's sleeve. "Mama," Lena whispered. Mara looked down. "What is it?" Lena pointed. "That man," she said slowly, thinking hard. "That man has eyes like mine." Mara froze. The world went quiet again. Her breath stopped in her chest. Before we continue, comment where you are watching from and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to this channel to support our growth. Mara forced herself to breathe. She shook her head quickly. "Lots of people have dark eyes, sweetheart. But his are the same," Lena said. "Like, the same sad kind." The man turned slightly, as if he felt something. Mara stepped back at once, pulling the children with her. "Come on," she said too fast. "We have to go." Eli looked confused. "But Mama," now Mara said. They walked away quickly. Mara did not look back. She did not see the man stop. She did not see him turn his head. She did not see his eyes narrow as he watched a small girl disappear into the crowd. But she felt it, all the way down her spine. That night, Lena's cough got worse. And far away, in a warm office high above the city, a powerful man stood at a window, staring at nothing, with a strange feeling he could not explain tightening in his chest. Something had cracked open. Something had begun. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to this channel to support our growth, because this story is just getting started. That night felt longer than all the nights before it. Lena could not stop coughing. Mara sat beside the bed, holding a small bowl of warm water, counting every breath her daughter took. In, out, in, out. Each one sounded too tight, too weak. Does it hurt now? Mara asked softly. Lena nodded this time. Just a little, she whispered. It's okay, Mama. That hurt more than the cough. Children were not supposed to say it's okay when they were in pain. Mara pressed her lips together so she would not cry. She dipped a cloth into the warm water and wiped Lena's forehead. Hot. Too hot. Eli slept in the other bed, curled into a ball. His stomach growled in his sleep. Mara had no medicine. None. She had gone to the clinic earlier that week. She remembered the nurse's tired eyes. The paper she slid across the desk. Payment required. Mara had nodded like she understood, like she had a choice. Now Lena gasped and coughed again, her small body shaking. Mara stood up suddenly. That's it, she whispered. We're going back. It was still dark when they stepped outside. The city looked different at night. Meaner. Colder. Mara carried Lena in her arms. Lena was light. Too light. Her head rested on Mara's shoulder, her breathing shallow. Eli followed, half asleep, dragging his shoes. At the clinic door, the lights were on. Mara knocked. Once. Twice. A nurse opened the door just a little. Visiting hours are over, she said. Please, Mara whispered. My daughter can't breathe well. The nurse looked at Lena. Really looked. She sighed and opened the door wider. Inside, the clinic smelled like soap and worry. The doctor came quickly, an older woman with tired hands and kind eyes. She listened to Lena's chest. Her face grew serious. She needs medicine tonight, the doctor said. And rest. A lot of rest. Mara nodded. I'll do anything. The doctor wrote something on a paper and handed it to Mara. Mara's hands shook when she saw the number at the bottom. Too much. She swallowed hard. I don't have this. The doctor looked at her for a long moment. Then she tore the paper in half. I'll give you 1 dose, she said quietly. But you need more after this. Mara nodded again and again. Thank you. Thank you. When they got home, Lena slept for a little while. Her breathing eased just enough for Mara to sit down. She leaned her head against the wall. Her body felt empty. Her heart felt tired. In the morning, Mara made a choice. She put on her only clean dress. She brushed her hair and tied it back. She made sure the children were wrapped warm. We're going to the big building again, Eli said. Yes, Mara said. Lena looked up at her. Why? Mara didn't answer. The tall glass building stood the same as before. Bright, clean, cold. Mara stood across the street again, staring at it like it was a wall she had to climb. She took a deep breath. Stay close, she told the children. Inside, everything was quiet and shiny. The floors reflected their feet. People in nice clothes walked past without looking. A woman at a desk smiled politely. Can I help you? Mara's voice felt small. I need to speak to someone. Anyone. The woman looked at the children, then back at Mara. Her smile faded just a little. Do you have an appointment? No, the woman shook her head. I'm sorry. Mara felt panic rise. My daughter is sick, she said quickly. She needs medicine. I just need help. Just once. The woman hesitated. Then footsteps sounded behind them. A familiar calm voice spoke. What's going on? Mara's body went stiff. She did not want to turn around. But Lena did. The man stood there again. The same dark coat. The same strong posture. His eyes moved to Lena almost without him knowing why. Something passed through his face. Confusion. Recognition. Something deeper. She's sick, he asked. Mara stepped in front of Lena at once. Yes, but we don't need trouble. We'll leave. The man raised a hand. Wait. His voice was gentle, controlled. What's her name? He asked, looking at Lena. Lena peeked around her mother's side. Lena, she said. The man nodded slowly. Mara cut in. We really need to go. The man studied Mara now. Her thin face. Her tired eyes. Her shaking hands. Take them to the pharmacy downstairs, he told the receptionist. Put it on my account. Mara stared at him. I can't. You can't, he said simply. Lena tugged on Mara's sleeve. Mama, he's being nice. Mara's chest tightened. She nodded once. Thank you. At the pharmacy, Lena got the medicine. Real medicine. Enough for days. Mara wanted to cry. Outside, the man stopped them. Is she going to be okay? He asked. Yes, Mara said. Because of you. He nodded. Good. Lena looked up at him again. Why do you look sad? She asked. The man blinked. I don't know, he said honestly. She smiled a little. You can be happy. My mama says happy people breathe easier. Something broke in his expression. Mara took Lena's hand. We should go, she said. As they walked away, the man stood still, watching them disappear into the crowd, his heart beating faster than it should. That night, he searched for answers. And Mara lay awake, knowing the wall she feared had already begun to crack. The medicine worked. That was the good part. Lena slept through the night without coughing. Her chest rose and fell in soft, even breaths. For the first time in weeks, Mara let herself sit back and close her eyes. But sleep did not come. Every time Mara shut her eyes, she saw the glass building, the clean floors, the man's face, and Lena's words. That man has eyes like mine. Mara pressed her hand to her chest and breathed slowly, just like she taught the children. In, out, in, out. Morning came quietly. Lena woke up with more color in her cheeks. She even smiled when Mara brought her a cup of warm water. I feel better, Lena said. Mara almost cried with relief. Eli bounced on the bed. Does this mean we can go outside today? Maybe later, Mara said. If your sister stays strong. They spent the morning in the small apartment. Mara cleaned. She folded clothes that were already clean. She checked Lena's forehead again and again. Too many times. Lena noticed. Mama, she said gently. You can stop looking at me like that. Mara forced a smile. Like what? Like I might disappear. Mara turned away so Lena wouldn't see her eyes. Across the city, in a room much bigger and much warmer, Mr. Hale sat at his desk and stared at his computer screen. He had not slept either. Files were open. Old records. Names. Dates. Nothing useful. He leaned back in his chair and rubbed his face. He could not explain it. He had met hundreds of children in his life. Thousands of people. But none of them stayed with him like that small, thin girl with the dark eyes. He kept seeing her standing behind her mother, brave but tired. And the mother, worn, careful, like someone who had learned the world could turn cruel without warning. She looked at me like I was dangerous, he muttered. That bothered him. Mr. Hale was used to respect, fear, control. Not that look. That afternoon, Mara had to go out again. The last of their food was gone. She wrapped Lena in her coat and told Eli to hold her hand tight. The market was crowded, loud. People pushed past without saying sorry. Lena walked slowly. She stopped often to catch her breath. Mama, she said quietly. Can I ask you something? Yes. Why did you get scared yesterday? At the building. Mara's steps slowed. I wasn't scared, she said too quickly. Lena frowned. Yes, you were. Mara sighed. Lying to Lena never worked. Some places, she said carefully, hold bad memories. Lena thought about that. Did that man hurt you? Mara's heart jumped. No, she said. He didn't. Then why did you run? Mara did not answer. That night, a knock came at the door. Mara froze. No one ever knocked. She moved quietly and looked through the small window. Her breath caught. Mr. Hale stood outside. Clean coat. Calm face. Hands at his sides. Eli whispered, Mama, it's the man. Mara opened the door just a crack. What are you doing here? She asked. I wanted to check on her, he said. The girl. Lena. Mara's body tensed. How did you find us? He hesitated. I asked questions. That scared her more. Lena stepped forward. I'm okay, she said proudly. The medicine helped. Mr. Hale smiled, and this time it reached his eyes. I'm glad, he said. Silence filled the small space. Then he spoke again, softer. May I come in? Just for a moment. Mara looked at her children, then back at him. Her instincts screamed no, but something else whispered wait. She opened the door, and the past stepped inside. The room felt smaller with him inside, not because he was big, but because he carried something heavy with him. Mr. Hale stood near the door, like he wasn't sure he was allowed to breathe the air in the room. His clean coat looked strange against the old walls, against the thin curtains, against the life Mara had built with her hands and fear. Please, he said quietly. I won't stay long. Mara nodded once. Don't wake her. Lena was already awake. She sat on the couch, wrapped in the coat, her dark eyes watching him closely. Eli stood beside her, holding her sleeve. "You can sit," Lena said, pointing to the chair. Mr. Hale blinked, surprised. Then he sat carefully, like the chair might break under him. "How do you feel today?" he asked Lena. "Better," she said. "I can breathe." He smiled again. A real smile this time. "That's good." Mara stood near the kitchen counter, arms crossed tight over her chest. She watched every movement, every look. "Why are you really here?" she asked. Mr. Hale looked at his hands. "I don't know," he said honestly. "That's the problem." Mara frowned. "People like you don't show up without reasons." He nodded. "You're right." He looked up at Lena again. "She reminds me of someone," he said softly. Mara's heart started to race. "Lots of children look alike," she said quickly. "Yes," he agreed. "But not like this." Silence dropped like a stone. Lena tilted her head. "Do you know me?" "No," he said. "But it feels like I should." Eli squeezed Lena's hand. "That's weird." Mr. Hale gave a small laugh. "It is." He turned to Mara. "You're a good mother." Mara stiffened. "You don't know that." "I see it," he said. "The way you stand in front of them. The way you watch her breathe." Mara's eyes burned. "Why are you watching us?" she demanded. Mr. Hale stood slowly. "Because something is wrong. And I don't like not knowing why." Mara felt the walls closing in. "You helped us," she said. "We're grateful. But this needs to stop." He nodded. "I understand." Then Lena spoke again, soft but clear. "Are you lonely?" The question hit him like a blow. "Yes," he said after a moment. Lena smiled sadly. "You look like it." Mara's breath caught. Mr. Hale stepped back toward the door. "I won't come again," he said. "Unless you ask." He paused. "But if you ever need help, real help here." He placed a card on the table. Mara did not touch it. He left quietly. That night, Mara burned the card in the sink. But the feeling stayed. And far away, Mr. Hale sat alone in his dark office, staring at a photo of Lena he had printed from memory alone. His chest hurt. He whispered, "Who are you to me?" And somewhere deep inside him, a truth stirred, but did not rise. Yet, the next few days passed slowly. Too slowly. Lena's cough came back at night. Not as bad as before, but enough to make Mara sit up in bed and listen. Enough to make fear crawl back into her chest. Mara counted the medicine drops left in the bottle. Not many. She pressed her fingers together until they hurt. Money was gone again. That morning, Mara wrapped Lena tight and helped her sit at the small table. "You stay home today," Mara said gently. "But school," Lena started. "School can wait," Mara said. "You come first." Lena nodded, but she looked down. She did not like missing school. She liked being normal, like pretending her life was not different from the other children's lives. Eli watched quietly, swinging his legs. "Mama," he said, "are we poor?" Mara froze. She knelt in front of him. "Why do you ask that?" "Because other kids have snacks," he said, "and coats that fit." Mara hugged him tight. "We have love," she said softly. "And that matters." Eli nodded, satisfied for now. Lena was not. Later, when Eli was busy with his toys, Lena pulled on Mara's sleeve. "Mama," she whispered. "The man, the one from the building, is he bad?" Mara's chest tightened. "No," she said carefully. "He isn't bad." "Then why do you look scared when you talk about him?" Mara did not answer. She could not. That afternoon, a message came to Mara's old phone. Unknown number. "How is Lena today?" Mara stared at the screen. Her hands shook. She typed back before she could stop herself. "Better." 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. "If you need more medicine, I can help." Mara dropped the phone like it burned her. "No," she whispered to the empty room. "No." She turned the phone off. Across the city, Mr. Hale stood by a window, watching rain fall against the glass. His phone was still in his hand. He felt the rejection like a wall slamming shut. But he also felt something else. Fear. Fear that if he pushed, he would lose them forever. That night, Lena's breathing grew rough again. Mara held her, rocking back and forth, whispering promises she wasn't sure she could keep. "I'm here," she said. "I won't leave you." Lena's small hand gripped her shirt. "Mama," Lena whispered, struggling to breathe. "If I get worse, will you tell the man?" Mara's heart cracked. "No," she said quickly. "Don't think like that." "But he helps," Lena said. "And when he looks at me, it feels safe." Mara closed her eyes. She remembered another time, another place, another promise she had made long ago, and how it had broken her. A sudden knock hit the door. Hard. Urgent. Mara jumped. "Mara," a voice called. It's me, Mr. Hale. Lena looked at her mother with wide eyes. Mama, she whispered. Please. Mara stood frozen between fear and love, between the past and the present, between protecting her children and letting the truth come too close. She reached for the door. Her hand hovered, and the knock came again. Subscribe to this channel to support our growth, and comment where you are watching from to help us serve you better. Mara opened the door. Just a little. Cold air rushed in. So did fear. Mr. Hale stood there, his coat wet from the rain, his hair darker at the edges. He did not smile this time. His face was tight, worried. I'm sorry, he said right away. I know you told me not to come. Mara said nothing. Behind her, Lena coughed. It was small, but it was enough. Mr. Hale heard it. His eyes moved past Mara, straight to the couch. Is she worse? He asked quietly. Mara's shoulders dropped. Just a little. Yes, she whispered. That was all it took. I brought the medicine, he said. More than before. And a doctor. She's waiting in the car. Mara shook her head. I didn't ask for this. I know, he said, but I couldn't stay away. Lena pushed herself up. Mama, she said softly. It's okay. Mara turned and looked at her daughter. Lena's face was pale. Her lips were dry. Her eyes were still sharp, still brave. Too brave. Mara stepped aside. Come in, she said. The doctor came quickly. She listened. She checked Lena's chest. Her face grew serious. You waited too long, she said gently. Mara flinched like she'd been hit. She needs care, the doctor continued. Real care. Tonight. Mara nodded, tears running down her face. Do whatever you need. Mr. Hale stood in the corner, silent. His fists were tight at his sides. When the doctor left to make a call, he spoke. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Mara turned on him, anger flashing through her fear. Because help always comes with a price, she said. And I've paid enough. He stared at her. I would never hurt her, he said. Mara's laugh was sharp and broken. You don't know that. I do, he said. Because when I look at her, something inside me breaks. Silence filled the room. Eli watched from the doorway, scared but quiet. Lena looked between them. Why are you both so sad? She asked. Neither answered. The doctor returned. We need to take her now, she said. Mara grabbed Lena's hand. I'm here, she whispered again and again. As they rushed out into the rain, Mr. Hale stayed close. Too close. At the hospital, bright lights and fast steps surrounded them. Lena was taken away. Mara stood shaking. Mr. Hale placed his coat around her shoulders without asking. She did not pull it off. Hours passed. Finally, a nurse came out. She's stable, she said. But there's something else. Mara's heart stopped. She'll need long-term care, the nurse continued. And we'll need family history. Mara swallowed hard. The nurse looked at Mr. Hale. Are you the father? The world tilted. Mara turned slowly. Mr. Hale froze. Lena's words echoed in both their minds. That man has eyes like mine. He opened his mouth. And for the first time in his life, he didn't know what to say. The hallway smelled like soap and fear. Mara sat in a hard chair, her hands folded so tight her fingers hurt. She stared at the floor, at a small crack between the tiles, because if she looked up, she might fall apart. Mr. Hale stood a few steps away. He had not moved since the nurse asked the question. Are you the father? The words hung in the air like something sharp. He started. Mara turned to him slowly. Her eyes were tired. Not angry. Not loud. Just tired. No, she said firmly. Not here. Not now. The nurse nodded. We just need information. We can come back later. She walked away. Silence rushed back in. Mara pressed her hands to her face. Her shoulders shook once. Then again. Mr. Hale stepped closer, then stopped himself. She's going to be okay, he said softly. Mara nodded. She always is. She has to be. They waited. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, the doctor returned. She's resting, the doctor said. The medicine is helping, but she needs long-term care. Good care. And stability. Mara nodded again. She had heard these words before. I'll take care of it, Mr. Hale said quietly. Mara looked up fast. No, I don't mean, he stopped. Thought. I don't mean taking over. I mean supporting, if you allow it. Mara studied him. You don't get to decide anything, she said. Not yet. I know, he said. I'll wait. That surprised her. Days passed. Lena stayed in the hospital for a week. Every day, Mara sat by her bed. Every night, Eli slept curled against her side in a chair too small for either of them. Mr. Hale came once a day, always at the same time, always quiet. He brought books, warm socks, soup that actually tasted good. He never stayed too long. He never touched Lena without asking, "Can I sit? Can I read to you? Is this okay?" Lena liked that. "You listen," she told him one afternoon. He smiled. "I'm learning." One evening, Lena looked at him for a long time. "Do you know why I'm not scared of you?" she asked. He shook his head. "Because you feel sorry," she said. "Not fake sorry. Real sorry." His throat tightened. He nodded once. Later that night, Mara found him standing by the window. "We need to talk," she said. They sat in the small hospital room while Lena slept. Eli was coloring quietly on the floor. Mara took a deep breath. "There was a time," she began, "when I trusted someone completely." Mr. Hale did not interrupt. "He broke that trust, and it nearly destroyed us." Her voice stayed calm, but her hands trembled. "I rebuilt our life piece by piece. Not because I was strong, but because I had no choice." She looked at him. "You remind me of that past," she said. "Not because you are the same, but because you carry guilt the same way." Mr. Hale swallowed. "I've done things I regret." "I know," Mara said, "and regret is not enough." He nodded. "Then tell me what is." She thought for a long moment. "Responsibility," she said. "Patience. And truth." He nodded again. "I can do that." A few weeks later, Lena came home. The apartment felt warmer, brighter. Mr. Hale helped quietly. He fixed the heater, stocked the fridge, paid for the medicine. Never in front of the children. Never with pride. One afternoon, Lena sat between Mara and Mr. Hale on the couch. She held both their hands. "You're both very sad people," she said seriously. "But you're better when you're honest." Mara smiled sadly. Mr. Hale laughed softly. One evening, after the children were asleep, Mara stood on the balcony alone. Mr. Hale stepped out beside her. "I should tell you," he said. "I'm willing to take a test. If you ever want answers." Mara stared at the dark sky. "I already know the truth," she said. He froze. She turned to him. "But knowing is not the same as choosing," she continued. "And I choose my children's peace." His eyes filled. "I will never hurt them." "I know," she said. "That's why this is hard." Months passed. Lena grew stronger. Eli laughed louder. The apartment filled with life. One night, Lena asked the question again. "Is he my father?" Mara knelt in front of her. "Yes," she said gently. "But being a father is not just about blood. It's about showing up." Lena nodded. "He shows up." Mr. Hale stood in the doorway, his heart breaking and healing at the same time. "I'll keep showing up," he said. Years would pass before all wounds fully closed. Some scars stayed, but love grew around them. Not loud, not perfect, but real. And sometimes that was enough. This story was never meant to be perfect. It was meant to be real. It was about tired hearts, about fear that lives quietly, about love that keeps going even when it hurts. Most of all, it was about choice. There are moments in life that break us, moments we never planned for, moments that change who we are forever. This story shows us that being broken does not mean being finished. Mara did not survive because she was strong. She survived because she had to, because love gave her no other option. And that matters. Sometimes, the strongest people are the quiet ones. The ones who wake up every day tired but still try. The ones who carry pain without letting it poison their children. We learn that love can be wounded, but it does not always die. Children understand more than we think. Guilt alone is not enough. Responsibility matters. Forgiveness is not weakness, and healing does not come fast. But it comes honestly. This story asks one simple question. What will you choose to carry forward? The hurt or the hope? You cannot undo the past, but you can decide what the past turns you into. If you are watching this and your life feels heavy right now, if you are tired of being strong, if you feel like no one sees what you've survived, this story is for you. You are not weak for feeling pain. You are not foolish for loving again slowly. And you are not wrong for protecting your peace. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is keep living. Take care of your heart. Choose people who show up, not just speak. Do not rush healing. Do not explain your boundaries. And never feel guilty for choosing peace over chaos. You do not owe anyone access to your pain. Keep moving, even if it's one step. Keep hoping, even if it feels small. Keep loving, even if it looks different now. You are allowed to rebuild. You are allowed to start again. And you are allowed to be happy. This season reminds us that light comes back after darkness, warmth still exists, and second chances are real. May this Christmas bring you comfort, strength, and peace. May it remind you that even after the hardest year, better days can still come. And if this story touched your heart in any way, subscribe to this channel to support our growth, because more stories like this are coming. Stories about healing, hope, and never giving up. Merry Christmas, and thank you for being here.